you make the logo bigger? Can you make the logo bigger? That is probably the most common question I have ever heard from a business owner or a marketing manager or whatever they may be in my capacity as a website designer. I have been designing websites for, Christ, how long has it been now? Since 1998. And I think I did my first website for a client back in 99, I think it was. 99? Yeah, 99. And I heard the phrase, can you make the logo bigger, back then. Anybody in my industry, anybody in the web design industry who's listening to this podcast right now will have heard somebody say at some point, can you make the logo bigger? And they'll be smiling to themselves now because it's a cliche. It's a cliche. You do a design for a client, you give them the design for the website, they look at it, they come back with, yeah, I like that bit, I like that, can you change that, I'm not sure about that. 9 times out of 10, can you make the logo bigger? And it's almost a bit of an in-joke in our industry. So for business owners listening to this who have employed web designers in the past, whether they're huge web design agencies that with offices all over the world, or whether it's a freelance web designer, or whether it's a friend of a friend who's done it for favors or for a crate of beer, you have probably thought at some point and possibly even said to them, can you make the logo bigger? Now, when someone says that to me, quite often the logo they want made bigger, and I've got to specify here, I'm not talking about anybody in particular. So any of our clients who we've designed websites for who have actually said, can you make the logo bigger? I'm not talking about you, honest. Unless I am, in which case I am. But no, by and large, I'm not talking about you. But there are people who will have said, can you make the logo bigger? And a lot of the time, the logo they want made bigger is actually, what's a polite, subtle way of putting this? Shite. It's awful. It's awful. And making something bad bigger and drawing attention to it is not necessarily a good thing to do. But what I try to say to people, and it's often quite a bolshy thing to say, so it's difficult to actually come out with this, but what I like to try to say to people, what I wish I could say every time, is something along the lines of, yeah, okay, you want the logo bigger, completely get that. Tell you what, I will make the logo bigger on this web design for you if you can say to me, hand on heart, that you have, at any point in the history of you looking at the internet, at any single point, if you've looked at somebody's website and you've said, I like it, but I wish the logo was bigger. If you've ever said that at any point while looking at any website, then I will make your logo bigger, because clearly that is a thing that needs to happen. If, however, and I'm just musing here, you have never at any stage looked at somebody else's website and thought, I wish that logo was bigger, then it's probably not a good idea for me to make yours bigger now. Because when people do say that I will like the logo bigger, they are not thinking about what the website is for. They are not thinking, and I'm talking to you now, business owners, I'm talking to you, clients of web designers, you are not thinking about who the website is for. You are thinking, that's my logo, I would like to see it bigger because I want to see my brand bigger, and I think if my logo looks bigger, then somehow my brand looks better and more important. You are not thinking about the people who are going to use the website, which is your target clients, your target audience. And this is the most important thing I can say right now, so please, if you take anything away from this slight little rant and possible meltdown that I'm having, please take this away from it. Your website is not for you. Let me say that again. Your website is not for you. Now, you may well pay for your website. You may well be paying the bill. You may well be paying the web design agency. You might have paid tens of thousands of pounds, you might have paid 50 quid. You might have paid nothing, just give somebody a case of beer. Whatever you've paid for the website, you've not paid for that for yourself. Your website isn't for you, it's for your target client. It's for your target customer. That is who your website needs to appeal to, not you. So don't be looking at a web design that you've had from a web designer and think, I want my logo bigger because I want my brand to be more important than it currently is on that design, because your target client, your target customer, doesn't give a shit. Doesn't give a shit how big your logo is on your website. They don't care. They don't care. What they want to know is, can you solve the problem they've got? Can you help them do what they need you to do for them? And the size of your logo on a website is of no consequence to whether or not you can help them. The size of the logo on the website is only of consequence to your own ego on you wanting a bigger logo on your website because you think that somehow makes your brand more important. Which is why whenever I hear somebody say to us as feedback, can you make the logo bigger? I die a little inside. Because I know they've not quite got it. They've not quite understood it. That the website isn't for them, it's for their client. And the size of the logo is not in any way related to the success of the website. It's not. So apologies for the slight rant, apologies for the slight meltdown, because it is something I hear so often. It's a cliche in our industry. It's a running joke. I've seen blogs about this. I've seen articles about this. I think I've even seen ebooks written about this. Make the logo bigger. It's a thing. It's a thing. So before you go to any web designer and ask them, can you make the logo bigger? Please stop. And please think about why you're doing that. Because it's not about you. It's not about your website. It's not about doing it for you. It's about your target client. So I will leave it here before my blood pressure goes, because I can already feel myself starting to pulsate in the head area. And I will catch you next time on the Engaging Marketeer podcast. If you've liked this podcast, then please consider giving me a 5-star review on Apple or on Spotify or whatever you may be listening to. Please consider giving me a subscribe or a follow, particularly on YouTube. If you give me a subscribe on YouTube, I'd really appreciate that. And I will catch you on the next podcast. Thank you very much.